I want to yield to the chairman of the Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Education Subcommittee, the gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Rokita, 2 minutes.
The gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 2 minutes.
I thank the chairman, and I thank the speaker for recognition. Thank you, Chairman Kline, for your leadership on this issue. I also want to thank Ranking Member Miller, Ranking Member Loebsack, our colleagues across the rotunda, and of course the staff who put so much effort into this pro-work, pro-family bill today. The reauthorization of the Child Care and Development Block Grant Program is an example of what both parties and houses of Congress can do when we're working together to find common sense solutions to national issues. I came to Congress to help all people build better lives for themselves and their families. And now here, with this bill on this floor today, we get a chance to do that. We work together to protect children's early development and safety, as well as their parents' employment, by preserving state control over a federal program that serves over 1.5 million young Americans. This agreement prevents the administration from imposing early learning guidelines on our states, and it also limits the collection of unnecessary data on our children. At the same time, we strengthened oversight and accountability at multiple levels of government. Early childhood care quality will improve because we're enhancing families' access to provider information while maintaining choice of provider. Families can choose between public and private providers, including religious providers. They can choose larger institutional settings or smaller or even in-home operations. And as a member of Congress and a parent, I know that parents, not the federal government, are best positioned to choose child care providers, and this legislation ensures parents have power over federal bureaucracies, which are no substitute for a family. And we're holding providers to strict safety standards, making sure child care professionals have the most up-to-date training. Parents who must either be working or seeking employment in order to take advantage of this program will have better information to guide their decisions. Mr. Speaker, I certainly didn't learn about these improvements before working on the legislation from the ether. The day in Avon, Indiana was one of my first stops, and we were able to incorporate a lot of it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Speaker. And we were allowed to incorporate a lot of what we learned that day and every day after in our work and into this bill. So I thank those that I met with in the 4th District of Indiana, where common sense solutions are part of everyday life, for their help in getting this legislation and the content of it crafted. As chairman of the Subcommittee on Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Education, it is not only my duty to vote for good legislation, but for results. And, Mr. Speaker, I'm simply here today to ask my colleagues to vote for this legislation because it will get results. It's one of the things that we can do around here in a bipartisan, bicameral way to show the American people that we're worth our paychecks. And with that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Minnesota reserves.